trying to share a post. Did not happen. I'm in the kitchen cooking, so this is what it's gonna look like. Now, I was speaking on the ongoing back and forth of the men versus women. And so I've seen today a couple of posts. One was a man saying that when men get to a certain career status, that they then are getting wiser. And I don't know if this is wisdom. Wisdom is subjective to the person and the person's experiences, right? And so, mm, he was saying that I'm making some Mary Me sandwich. He was saying that once men get to a certain status, they feel like if you not bringing nothing to the table, then what does he need you for? And just, we're going to speak to it. Now, the truth of the matter is, you and your status and where you headed in life has absolutely nothing to do with you finding a woman and having love or partnership or companionship, right? I don't care how much money you get. Money can't buy happiness. And so to hear so many men say this and then other men agreeing to it, right? It's like, what are you really saying? So for you, you're saying my success and the amount of money I made, then at some point, I'm sorry, I'll get my seasonings. At some point, when it comes to women, I'm feeling like since I got all the money, then they ain't really got nothing to offer to me. That's what's being said out here. And it's really delusional thinking because in the grand scheme of things, these same men out here saying they believe in the Most High and it is giving off an emotional energy and not logical. Women are the only creatures that can carry forth your bloodlines. So this has nothing to do with what she is bringing to the table. And I'm going to say it to y'all younger ladies, don't deal with no man talking about what you bring to the table. Just don't. Why? Because you bring your womb. The womb is a place of creation. It's a place of care, I'll say, right? So we got people out here. Okay, so let's say, for instance, you're a wealthy man and you got all this money. You got this big house. I'm pretty sure you got a couple of cars. You know, whatever men spend their money on. Suits, cigars, ties, shoes. I don't know. You got all this stuff, but then you don't have substance. You have stuff. And so for you to equate your stuff to a woman's greetings, for you to equate stuff to a woman's presence, something is off balance there, right? And I bet the question, let's see if these same guys are coming from households that are women or households that both parents are not present. I'm so, you know what? To hear it though, it's disheartening for men to say and be going around on these little podcast shows, and I don't watch them, cause honey, I be arguing in the comments. I don't watch them. I just hear a little bit and keep on pushing. But for this to be being repeated, and for so many of our young men identifying with this, I beg you to ponder now, why is it that we as melanated women are being coerced to think that we have to sign up for struggle love? Because what the young man said in the video was, that's why men want you to be with them when they broke. So when they get there, then they can say, oh, she been down since I didn't have nothing. And then he even went on further to say that the female, if he's already rich, has nothing to bring to the table. Women multiply, literally. And this is a woman that's in her proper vibrational frequency, one that has been doing the work, one that is self-aware, one that practices self-love. Women naturally understand that money doesn't bring happiness. And so if a woman is requiring a certain lifestyle, why are we demonizing women that say, hey, this is my standard, and if you want to be in this space, this is what you have to do? Now this is subjective. There are women out there living outside their means and then requiring a man to come forth and try to uphold the lifestyle they built for themselves, and even though they can't afford it, they expect the man to come through and afford that thing for them, right? No judgment. I'm very understanding to the ploy and the causes, so no judgment. But at the same time, what is wrong with standards? And then the other thing is, like, we're the only culture that push women to think, and this is a culture loss, right? This is a lost culture when they have erased your culture, your spirituality, that when they painted a picture of you being a slave, being in bondage, not having them, blah, blah, blah. This is all lack mindset, right? And then it hits the men harder because it's generational. Let's say, what if the narrative was different and you weren't taught that you came from slavery? What if you knew that your ancestors were empowered? What if you knew that your ancestors had land and wealth and Black Wall Streets was there? Well, what if we operated from a place of that? And then you're dating. Now, in other cultures, marriages are arranged because they know the power of marrying the right person, carrying forth the bloodlines, and domination, carrying forth, right? Yes. And I think that all cultures should require that. My culture, I didn't come from slaves. I don't claim that. My grandma never talked about being a slave. Her mama didn't talk about. I don't claim that. If you can't prove we was somewhere bent over picking cotton, baby, that's not what we was doing. Granddaddy always had a shotgun, okay? The other thing is valuing the feminine energy. And so it's just seeming like when a female is valuing herself, she's becoming more aware that she has to have standards and boundaries. Then it's this whole movement to demonize having status and standards and boundaries. Now, I did see another post where a young lady was saying if you're making 50K, you should not date. Because you can take a woman on 50,000 walks in the park. Eventually, she's going to want to feel a little more special. Whether she wants something to drink, eat, whatever. Now, me, I've always ate, okay? Baby, I've been tall since middle school, okay? So I'm not even entertaining nobody that can't feed me, like at all. If your thing is you ain't finna waste money on me no food, baby, I feed myself. So if you can't bring that to the table, you just won't be at the table. That's just me. The other thing is like now there's a shift in my own consciousness. My healing level is different. You're not even finna be feeding me trash, right? I'm eating healthier. I feel good. I'm 33 pounds down. I crave bad stuff every now and then, but what you not gonna do is be buying me a chicken box and thinking you gonna still be at this table. No. And then it's like, okay. The other part is money don't bring happiness. So to have the point of view, be standing on your square, and in your square you're saying, if I already got all the money, what do you bring to the table? Women bring more to the table than men. Generally, all the women I know, they care for the children. Usually, mostly by themselves. I know a lot of single moms, and then I know a lot of married single moms. Okay, and if they weren't there present caring for the children generally wouldn't be cared for. I really think at this point, and after being married for 10 plus years, that marriage is a form of servitude. And that if you're saying that I should serve, be submissive, stand by you on the struggle island, that island sometimes get heavy because what happens is you'll be dating a brother and it's not based on money, and being that he is broke, he will tend to either be emotionally unavailable because he's thinking about leveling up, or just downright abusive personality. This is not all, this is some. Because he doesn't have the things that he wants, or he can't provide nice things for his girl, wife, whoever. And so in that, I just don't feel like it's right for us to promote struggle love and try to push it on women and try to make it seem like if she wants somebody that's economically stable, then she's a gold digger or she's this and that, because it's just not true. None of it is true. The truth is subjective to the person and the person's experiences. Me, I'm going to speak about me. I met my husband fresh out of prison. When you fresh out of prison, you don't have much. He wasn't making a lot of money on his job, and he didn't have a place to stay, and didn't have a car. I literally was driving a bus, public bus, and met him on my bus, right? And he asked to take me out, and it was cool. I'm not a female that generally like, oh, you gotta have this, gotta have that. You never know where you're gonna meet somebody at, right? So we ended up with a baby, married, 10 plus years. What I learned from that experience is I attracted him from a place of where I was at the time, right? I was just moving here. I didn't have much either. I had a little more, but not a lot more, right? And so in my mind, I decided, two is better than one, okay? I, over the years, helped him to build up his career. All my stuff on hold. I focused on raising our child and pushing him through the levels, right? And in that push, eventually he got to a level where he felt like I wasn't bringing that to the table because I wasn't clocking in on the clock for the man. Now, I've been had my business. Before I moved from Georgia, I had my own business, hair and skincare. That's my thing. Um, and I had been working on that and couldn't put as much time as he was putting into his career because I'm at home caring for the house and our child. He didn't value that. And for years, I was looking for validation, right? I was upgrading my jars, my brand. I'm doing little stuff. It just was never enough, right? And so when he got to the top of where he felt comfortable and it was the top, then he started of leveling out, I'll say. And then what came with that was, okay, well, if you don't have nothing else you're trying to push to do, no more positions you're trying to get into, I'm going to work on me, right? Once I started working on me, instead of him giving me that same type of support, I was faced with cynicism, negativity, even the backbiting, letting our child know that I'm spending a lot of time on the computer. It don't matter that I'm trying to build my brand and elevate, and I really just need the support to push me forward. If what I was doing did not equate dollars, then it was devalued in the base, right? And so, looking back, do I feel like I have to meet people where they're at? No, because I did that. I've dated struggle love. I've been on the struggle bus. It just equaled a lot of abuse from that masculine counterpart, right? It's okay. It's a lesson. But dating dudes that don't have and all that, it didn't make me whole. I had to recollaborate myself or get myself back into alignment to the valuing of me, knowing that I am the table, right? You want to come sit down? I'm the table. I don't bring things to the table. I'm the table. And then what it taught me was rich or poor alike, it's the character that matters. It's the character. Now, y'all being together, did he pour into you the way you poured into him? No matter how much is in the bank, if you cannot support and reciprocate energy, that's a big issue. And so he got to the top of his industry where he wanted to be, and then just started talking shit. And had me to believe that I wasn't bringing that to the table. It took me 2 years to go back and go over and realize I'm the table. Where you are, I was the force behind you. And I don't need you to validate that. I don't. I know what I did. And while I was doing that, pushing you, I was also raising and homeschooling our child. These are the things that I value as a Cancer rising, Sag sun, Gemini moon. The intellect. Making sure our child is not being sold a bunch of lies out here. Building up our child's character. Making sure y'all had food on the table. Nourishment for your bodies. You know what I'm saying? I was in the background doing the spiritual work. Our family would have never been spiritually protected because there were haters. And anytime somebody was coming directly against your energy, I put in the actual spiritual work to stop them in their tracks. And my question to him was, I saw in you, when I met you, things that I could help you elevate in. What did you see in me that you decided upon yourself that you were going to pour into me and try to elevate me in? Crickets. And so then I had to practice and put into practice speaking up for myself. Because even after it was over, it was still these lashing out of words. And I have to go back and go over the words, and I'm just like, yeah, you keep saying I wasn't bringing that to the table. I was bringing what I value to the table. Men, When you get with people, y'all values still be different. I don't care how long you married. You just want to make sure that you're working towards a common goal, whatever that goal is. At the end of the day, it took for a high school sweetheart friend to come into the picture during my healing phase to remind me of who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? And to build upon that a good foundation and support system. Because sometimes women get married and we forget. We be giving and healing and touching and taking care of everybody else, and we forget our own selves, right? And so I just want us to start thinking about these conversations just being put into the atmosphere. I don't care if you subscribe to the struggle of or you looking for a rich dude. What really matters is the character. On either end, you don't know if you're missing something or not. Honestly. Because it's going to be character at the end of the day that matters. Now, if I could do it all over again, would I meet somebody that's not on equal playing field? And pour out that energy into them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What I know today is if people place a certain value on monetary, and that's all they can account for, and if you ain't got that, then you ain't brought that to the table. That is a character flaw. And that's just for me. I allowed this man to tell me for years, dang, it's really dark, that being that I wasn't clocking in on somebody's time clock, that I wasn't bringing value to the table. It just was not true. Value is subjective. Let me turn on the light. And y'all don't be looking at that shelf now. Y'all know what y'all. Value is subjective to the person. And so going into a new union, what I would do is make sure we're on the same page, that our values align. The value is not in the things. We got all these things. And I bought into it. I felt like at certain points in my marriage, maybe I was putting myself second and I wasn't buying myself nice things. And so I went through a period of buying things, expensive things, thinking it would make me feel better. And thinking it'll heal certain things. And it just never happened. None of it happened because that wasn't the issue. The issue was the character. And we have to realize too that a lot of men are opportunists and narcissists, right? And so if you don't dive deep into that person, where they come from, their hurts, their traumas, and then you get involved and you thinking, me, I'm a life path 6. I was trying to help people, self-sacrificing, right? And you put all that into that person and then they throw you away anyway. Then what does it matter? What does it matter? And I said, let me get on YouTube and talk about this and share it, because we tend to think that money brings things. It's an energy. You attract. It's a currency. So the money is not it. What he can say is that anytime he said he wanted to do something, I made sure the discipline was carried through. And we had the money to do it. All the people we know, mostly on both sides, don't own their homes. But in 7 years of being out, we were purchasing a home. And that takes discipline. Because some women don't have the discipline not to spend money, right? And so it's just like, it's all for nothing. I don't care if you get with a brother that you going to the park and walking with. Let me read the comments, y'all. I'm not sure. Okay. Sometimes it is about the budget income as a housewife. It is being able to live within his budget income. Okay. Yeah, because it's like, we place so much emphasis on the things. And to hear men say, oh, if I got the money, then what she brings to the table? Sir, why don't you just get with another man? If you're feeling like there's no value in women and they have to have a list of things they're bringing to the table, get with your brother. Because that's what it sounds like. I don't know, but I just know the women that I know, we multiply. You give us something, we give you double back. And something triple. And triple. If you're a masculine that can hear your woman, she can save your life by telling you, babe, don't go out tonight, or I feel a certain energy from this person, or just simply pouring into that woman. I don't know any men that are not elevated that are married and have good women. Women, it's just what it is. And studies show that men that are married live longer. Because if your wife is cooking and putting care into your food and being very selective when she grocery shops, that's a different type of woman. She not buying you fast food and noodles and canned, I don't know, whatever y'all like to eat. No judgment. I don't worry about what other people eat. That's not how I get down. It's just we have to stop placing so much value on things. So to hear this man say this, and then to go into the comments, and you got all these men agreeing. What are you agreeing to, sir? Y'all should exchange numbers. I think now this is just gotten out of hand. You got the men versus men, or women versus men, men versus women. And this conversation is redundant. I don't see any Mexicans or Hispanics or not even a Caucasian. I haven't seen this debate going back and forth in other cultures. I don't see Asian men degrading their women. I even saw a meme yesterday, and the meme showed a girl who was in high school. She's nicely shaped, blah, blah, blah. And then it showed her 10, 20 years later. And of course, she's gained weight. She done had babies over there. And then a man posted it, and it was like what she used to look like versus looking now. And my question was, why is it when we see these memes, there are not memes of men? Because men change too. Men gain weight too. So you're constantly holding females to a standard when their bodies change and they carry children. But you can't have no baby, and then 20 years later, you losing your hair and looking like you're pregnant. I really don't get it. But you're constantly putting these memes out here as if to say, because she's gained a little weight, she's had a couple of children, she's been a wonderful mom, she takes care of her children, but because her body is not the same, she's lost value. Where are we in society? It's very hilarious, okay? And I have an even personal experience with that. It was like one day I was telling my ex-husband, we both gained weight in a relationship. And he looked at me and was like, it ain't no we. Greetings, Serpent X, Cosmic Sunflower. I love sunflowers, girl. He looked at me and was like, I ain't gained no weight. Now, I know he's gained weight. I have pictures to prove it, right? But something in him just could not be on that bus with me. It was very odd. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, okay. And I just chopped it up in a moment as him having high self-esteem. I don't have no problem with it. If you feel like you ain't got no weight, I'm not going to convince you. I'm not going to pull out the pictures, right? But it was also a moment of another moment clarifying we're not on the same vibration, because what I was pointing out is let's eat a little bit healthier and let's start that working out, because when we met, that's what we were doing. And so say all that to say, if you're not on the same page as a person and the character, let's look at character. I don't care how much money you got. You can be the richest man in the world and your character have flaws. You can be the poorest man in the world and your character has flaws. And that's why I say it's women out there that do date for status. And then they're dating for status because they're living a lifestyle they can't afford. No offense, no judgment to those sisters. I know a lot of them, okay? And they tend to be single because they have said if he ain't bringing this, and this to the table, then we can't deal. You just got to know character. You have to have discernment to know if a female is coming into your life and using you for money. If your spirit or your soul, your insides don't point these things out, then that's just a judgment call. And for this man to be in we talking about viral memes, to be in a meme and talking about, oh, we get all this money. What question you got? He said that if he has all the money and he meets somebody, then he needs to know in particular what she's bringing to the table. She could be a prophet. My friend now, I was looking at his astrology chart one day, randomly, and I told him to go play the lottery. He received that information, went to play the lottery, and won $500. Women bring things in different ways. We're spiritual. We're more analytical. And this is high vibrating women. Women that do the work. The work never ends. So we're talking about constantly evolving people. Men and women alike, but if you're not doing the work, it's going to be something. But the point I'm making in that is like, if he was unable to receive from me what I was saying, if he wasn't vulnerable enough to say, you know what? Let me go play the lottery. He would have never won. And then when the lottery was actually scratch offs. Because what I seen in the chart, I was like, yeah, these are the placements. So that means you might make it just doing that every now and then. Not to become a gambler, but every now and then when you get the urge, follow that urge. Follow instinct, right? And so if it had not been for that, him being receptive, relationships are energy exchange. Like I say, women do for you what they want done for them. I just spoke on that. Yeah, I have all my relationships up until now have been with men that were emotionally unavailable, right? And what that looked like was me constantly waiting on validation. Constantly waiting. I was in a state of waiting. I wait from high school, middle school, beginning of high school, waiting to be validated. And so at first, I thought, FedEx coming to get this blender, this juicer. Hold on. I'm like, and it ain't packed up. Hold on, y'all. I knew that was coming too. But yeah, I was in a relationship for years with men that are unemotionally available. And I thought that was the move, honestly. I really thought that was the move. Y'all, why don't never be ready? This is a mess. I don't even know if this goes here. Yeah! Come on. No. That doesn't fit. Y'all, this is a mess. This is a mess. I'm coming! Y'all bought this juicer, and it's just a pain in the butt. So I'm sending it back. Hold on. Let me get this out the door. Let me open the door, right? Hold on. I'm coming! Hi. I'm getting it right now. 1 second. I'm like, sure. It just didn't work out for me. What it taught me is that I need my man emotionally available by all means. Because I'm an emotional person. And it depends on the woman and her chart and all that good stuff. It's not just about, look. Y'all, this a mess. Hold on. Hold on. Okay.
All right, I got some labor for this.
Oh, do you have a, I don't get no seat.
The top part of it so you can track it.
Yeah. I don't want to be like, we did.
Oh, yeah. That's just
Thank
part
you.
right there.
Thank
All right, y'all get that?
you. You too.
All right.
I'm sorry it's dusty.
Nah, you good.
Okay. I'm back. What dating emotionally unavailable men brought me was a bunch of heartache and pain. I was constantly seeking validation, constantly seeking some type of warmth. And I just felt like I was in a freezer cold relationship. And like I said, I understand from a male's point of view because I know my husband in particular was trying to come up because we got pregnant so fast and got married. He was trying to get his grounding, right? But for me, it was always like, damn, well, what about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point am I going to feel loved too? And I later realized that his love language is respect, and mine is all those love languages plus the respect. And so it's just like he felt like him making the money and him affording me to stay at home to raise our child was enough. And it wasn't. I am all water and air. So if I don't get that emotional validation, it puts me in a place of thirst. Okay. I was literally trying to fix everything. I thought it was because I gained weight. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. And then he wasn't really talking about where he was emotionally. So I'm guessing. I tell younger ladies, if you with somebody and you gotta guess how they feel, you gotta guess baby, please run. Please don't do it. But now, now I understand because I didn't know nothing about being available emotionally. Now I understand that that's something I can't do. I can't do emotionally unavailable. I need you to not only bring your emotions, but to express them. I need to be told that you love me, even on a random. And like I say, women do what they want to be done. And so I say it all the time. If I care for you, I tell you and I show you and I gift. You know, I care. I do caring things. And so I would never again date somebody emotionally unavailable. That's just me personally. Even if that person is on the grind and they're trying to get to the top, it just for me becomes neglect and kind of borderline abusive when I don't get that. And it just depends on the person. Some women are very hard. You get your Capricorn moon, she might not care. Or if you get your Cap Sun woman, she might not care. But me, Gemini moon, Cancer rising, oh baby, I care. I care. I need to be validated. I need to be appreciated. I need to be hugged and touched. Okay. And so, say all that to say, all these memes and reels going viral, dividing the community. And the guy was even like, putting this on black women, on melanated women. And it's just like, sir, people playing mind games, especially if you're really young. I'm a Gemini moon, so the intellect is very personal and heavy to me. So I ain't doing no mind games. Like if you can't show up and show how you feel or express, and I gotta guess and I gotta try to figure it out, I don't want it. I want flow, not friction. And so I'm recommending everybody who see this, whenever you see it, if it's not in flow and it's a bunch of friction, guessing, uncertainty, being in a relationship and you feeling alone. Like I said, I know a lot of single moms that are married. And they think that's the norm. They think that's the norm. I say get out of there. I don't recommend nobody staying. I don't care if you comfortable, you've been in this thing 25 years, whatever it is. Stand in a situation to where I'm trying. Oh, I left a part of the day juicer. I knew I was gonna leave a part. Anyway, being in a place where in your inward parts you feel friction, whether it's you feeling lonely in that relationship, you feeling unloved. For me, I was starving for touch. And so I was trying everything, like everything, right? And it's just like those gentle touches in passing is what I was yearning for. When I'm in the kitchen and I've been in the kitchen 4-5 hours because I'm cutting up everything, the vegetables being diced and sliced, and my back hurting, but I want my family to have a good nutritious meal. And then there's no, do you need anything, or you can't come and even at the least keep me company. I said that for years. Like, it's not about me needing you to help cook. This is what I do. But I just be wanting company, conversation, companionship in that thing. So it doesn't make it feel like work. So I'm standing in the kitchen, my back hurt. Women, our cycles be on. We just, And it's just like, then I can't get a touch, a kiss on the neck, a smack on the ass. Excuse my language, but I was longing for touch. And what I realized is like, the only time I could be touched if I initiate it or if you feeling like happy with me. And partnerships, you're not going to always feel happy. But that shouldn't be, a lack of touch shouldn't be punishment. And it's just like, okay, so then that sent me inward. Like I said, it's all an experience. It sent me inward, and I had to go inside and see what part of myself would stick around for 5-10 years and not being fulfilled by the person. And allowing the person to actually not validate, but is validate me, saying I'm not bringing it into the table. That what I was doing wasn't valuable. What part of self? And so astrology, all the classes that I was signing up for, high priestess class, magician class, just in all the classes over the years, piling it on, healing, really shifting perspective, shifting, getting mental clarity, fasting, all these things. I remember I used to fast and everything be fine. But once I started going inward and then I was fasting, his scent was off. And at that point, it was like, something is off. Something is off. So when I would be fasting, his scent would make me nauseous. And I knew at that point something is wrong. Something is wrong. This is somebody who I have a child with. And if their scent never bothered me before, it just goes to show when you shifting and elevating and you working on yourself and you cleansing your temple and you fine-tuning your mental, there will be signs there. At the point where I am fasting and I'm nauseous of your smell, that's spiritual. Then I started dreaming. I was going to him to validate the dreams. He's not a dreamer. I don't need him to validate what I'm dreaming about. I've been a dreamer. My dreams always provide solid answers for me. But when he didn't validate them, I still was sticking around trying to figure that thing out. And it just goes to show all the sacrifices that women make just to be in relationships. These don't even be relationships that have reciprocity. And then when I look at the brothers, and there's no separation, we all one. It's just like for you to say what the young man was saying in the reel, that if he already got the money, what is she bringing to the table? Stay away from men like that because that speaks to his character. The only thing he values is money. And same thing in my situation. I was letting him know, like, you said I'm supposed to be doing this, and I'm supposed to be saving and this. But you also know that I'm working part-time and the money that I was making, you know how much, and you know it was affording me your child to go out and have experiences while you were working. I'm not a mom that was just sitting in the house, right, being lazy. I'm an active mom. Why? Because I didn't have that growing up. So I want him to have all these different experiences, fun, trips, all that. I love my child. When I finish working, we finna go and do something. And so to say me doing all that, filling in for you, it wasn't of any value. I had to check him and say, I was doing what I value that was important for our child. Now, we can have differences, but I don't need your validation on what I deem valuable. And I didn't know to say that 10 years ago. I was just searching for the validation. It was like, dang, well, maybe. And keep in mind, it wasn't my choice to sit in the house with our child for so long. But at the same time, I didn't want him to be being raised by strangers. I didn't want him to be being lied to. All the history they teaching and stuff in schools, these people teaching your child lies every day. To the point when they graduate or when you say something, they siding with these educators, which we know is indoctrination. They siding with educators, and then it's just like, oh yeah, because you weren't around. You weren't around to deposit the truth. And so I was big on it. And then here I am sacrificing my dreams because I never stopped having dreams. I have a blueprint of a salon that I've had since college that I still want to open. I want to open a farm. So I'm making all these sacrifices. And then at the key moment when I say, you know what? Well, you where you want to be, I'm going to work on me. It's a problem. It's a problem me working on me. It's a problem with you supporting me working on me, right? And so, like I say, it all go back to character. I don't care if they're rich or they're poor. If that character ain't right, you in for a ride. If they're emotionally unavailable, you're in for a ride. If they're narcissistic, if they are cynical and you're optimistic. Sag is naturally optimistic. We listen to problems, we understand, and then we provide solutions. Some people just dwell in the problems and don't want to hear solutions. And we spoke about all this because now I have clarity and I can speak up for myself. So another thing that we was running into is like, okay, we're not making enough. We were doing perfectly fine until you wanted all this stuff, right? So we got the stuff. Now you're not making enough and you need me to leave the household and you want me to do all these things. It's just like when I do them, anytime I've worked and stepped outside the house, when I was doing Uber Eats, my child had to be with me. He wasn't lugging our child to work with him. And when I was doing Amazon Flex, delivering actual packages and boxes like a man, my child was with me. We in the car sometimes over 14 hours because I was seeking validation. I'm trying to make him be proud of me, right? Not pouring into my own business because that wasn't good enough. That business wasn't bringing in. And so there were several times where I stepped outside the house, and even in those moments, there was no validation. There was no thank you for whatever, right? And then so in the moment of truth, it's just like, yeah, you're not bringing that to the table. And I believed it. When we first decided we was getting divorced, baby, I went so inward. I was accepting what he was saying as truth. But spirit, Spirit always is going to confirm or deny. And then in those moments, it's like, no, you weren't just sitting in the house. You did. Sometimes I do 2 shifts for Amazon Flex. Sometimes I would do all day Uber Eats, all night. Be up all night delivering food. Just to be validated. And still didn't get the validation. And that's why I say it always go back to character, the person, your chart, the things you value, making sure you with somebody that y'all got the same values. The 50-50 conversation is a conversation that has been going around the community as well. How do I feel about 50-50? I feel like if you my man, I'm not doing 50-50. That's not to say I'm not bringing that to the table, because I'm the table. This is the table. What it's saying is you're going to have to take lead on something. And as a friend, I don't mind 50-50 because you're my friend. If it's something that I have to sign up for and I feel shame if I'm expressing that to somebody else, then I'm just not going to do it. My husband spreading good vibes on live chat. Hey, TJ Funny Bone. Thank you. If it's something, and good vibes to you too. I don't generally celebrate Valentine's Day, but to all the lovers out there, I hope y'all are in a reciprocal relationship and being loved in your love language. The other thing is like people are bringing to the table something and say, hey, I'm bringing this to the table. And if it's something that's not your love language, they feel like, well, it ain't good enough. No, you have to love people the way they need to be loved. You can't just put something out there and be like, oh, you gonna eat this. That's just like somebody ordering a pizza with pork on it and you don't eat pork. And they like, well, I ordered a pizza. She ain't even grateful for the pizza. It's like, I don't eat pork, right? And so it's like one of those things, making sure that everything is on point. Money aside, stand on your square. If you ain't into 50-50, don't sign up for it. If you're not into reciprocity, which most of us are, and you just want this one-sided love, then so be that for you. And then if you value money over the natural gifts of the feminine energy, then stay off and around the feminine energy. Our community as a whole needs to heal. Women out here taking all these classes, doing the work, trying to elevate. And then I see a sprinkle. We have a sprinkle of men in our abundance class. A sprinkle, maybe 2. And that's cool. But the majority is out here in the world and never even trying to elevate on a spiritual level. I had a conversation with my ex-husband. I said, when we first met, me and his sister both advised him on a thing, right? And so I even reinforced that thing years later. He could not hear from me personally. And at that time, he wasn't hearing from her either. But then today, the situation we're in, you're complaining about it. And not to say you don't get to complain. You just don't get to complain to me. I'm in this thing too. And I'm allowing spirit to guide me. And I have not lacked a thing. It's just when you're complaining and you don't have a solution, it kind of seems whiny. You get what I'm saying? So I was just telling him like 3 years ago, I learned how to trade. And I was inviting him in to trade because I seen so many melanated couples in that arena together, sharpening each other's eyesight or whatever, and breaking generational curses, breaking themselves outside the box. Rich, really rich, right? So many rich people in Texas that are traders that just went to school. We had an academy. And I'm not for I Am Academy, but that's where I learned to trade it. I was paying, and I'm thinking since it's one account and I'm paying in a way, we both can learn this and bust outside the box. And so at the time, it was not received. And then it's just like, okay, what have you brought to the table that is a solution that we can collectively work on? Nothing. So all the stuff I brought to the table is not received, and then you can't bring it. You ain't bringing it to the table. And then it's like, okay, well, still we're not bringing in enough. Okay, well, I've tried. I feel like if we both would have traded that masculine feminine energy, that's balance, and then masculine is strategy and feminine is spiritual, right? We bust outside some lines if both our eyes are on this chart and seeing what we see. You could teach me something and how you see stuff, and I could be looking at the chart in a balanced way, vice versa. And so when that wasn't received, and then you want to come complain, I don't have no empathy for the complaint. Why? Because you had several opportunities to learn another skill. And this is for everybody. Your all should not be coming from one source ever, right? And then the other thing is like, we as a people, we want all this stuff. We got this whole house. This is stuff. I'm so tired. Baby, we moving, right? The house was cold the whole time. It was cold. There were no hugs, no kisses, no warm moments that I could recollect when I think back in this particular space. We had more warm moments when we was in an apartment, and when we had less. When we was in a duplex, we had less. And I say the apartment because when I think about the duplex, it was still a bunch of toxicity, you know. But just overall, focus on character. That's why I be telling people like now, I don't need to really be provided for. I've had that. And when somebody's providing 100% of things to you, they tend to treat you a certain type of way, right? And even though I enjoy having somebody who I could depend on, right? Shout out to ex-husband, still dependable to this day. He was still and is to this day emotionally unavailable. And so, which one do I value more? The emotions. I'm a lot of water and air. And so, that's just me. Like I said, somebody could be earth and fire, and they not need that emotional connection. They might need money more, okay? It just depends on the person and they chart makeup, but just overall, I've been on a struggle bus, love. I don't like that it's being pushed on women. You don't have to struggle, love, you know. I think the law of attraction is a little bit stronger, and men that are whole don't value money over the feminine energy. Money is not going to carry your bloodline forth. Money is not going to get in the kitchen and cook for you a nourishing meal. Money is not going to be concerned with how you feel when you're feeling down or sick or need mental support. Money doesn't do that. It's an energy, and you use it as an exchange. And so I've been provided for. I've had all that. Now what I'm focused on is me and what makes me happy. And I'm still discovering what makes me happy. But what I do know for sure and for certain, my nervous system right now is in a place of ease. I'm not guessing with nobody. And it just feels good to be thought of and appreciated. My friend, I'm attracting relationships with reciprocity. Today I wasn't expecting anything for the day. Like I said, I don't celebrate. And then I thought about my child being in the environment. We put them in the school, and they celebrate. People delivering things to the classroom stuff. So I went up there to have hot cocoa. They got hot cocoa for V-Day in the library. So it wasn't his day. Missed out on that. But me thinking, okay, I want him to still feel appreciated and loved, even though we don't celebrate. So I got him something, right? And as soon as I got back in the house, couldn't see him. He don't know I got him something. My friend knocked on the door, bringing me something. And it just gave me chills. The universe rewards when you're open to love. And it might not come from a masculine if you're feminine, or a feminine if you're masculine. It might come from a friend. She brought me chocolate covered strawberries. Something I used to, when I did celebrate, I used to buy myself chocolate covered strawberries every Valentine's Day. something I don't concern myself with anymore. She was at the door with chocolate covered strawberry that she made. And she said, I know you don't celebrate. And I was like, I celebrate you and just people thinking of me. I ain't gonna cry. But it was just so sweet, right? And it's like, I wasn't expecting it today. I wasn't. And I wasn't down about it. I was actually about to do yoga. I've started practicing yoga. But that right there just let me know I'm on my right path. I'm on my right path. And I'm attracting to myself people that know to reciprocate without me having to say something. And then worse than having to tell somebody I love you. If you pay close attention, you'll know. That's women. You'll know because they're doing what you want. What they're doing for you, what they want done for them. Women don't just be doing stuff. We're not complicated. We love the way we want to be loved. Whether she buying gifts or cooking or cleaning. And that's not, those things are not things that are gender assigned. A lot of people think, oh, the woman should be doing all the cooking. No. I like men that know how to cook. And cook what I eat. Not just cooking something. Cook what I eat. Cook my favorite food. Make me feel loved too. I'm going to pay attention to your every favorite. When you really into something, I'm taking a mental note. And so to get that in return, that's what I like. That's what I like. And it's just like, pay attention to the character and the reciprocity. If you don't pay attention to nothing else, character and reciprocity. Is this person loving you the way you would love yourself? Is this person loving you the way you love them? If not, and I don't care how many years, I'm going to emphasize on that because when I was married, I was getting advice from married people. And they were giving me 19 reasons to stay, and none of it was healthy. It was just like, oh yeah, you should fight it out because I fought it out. No, okay? No. I know so many married people that are in sick, unhealthy, low vibrational marriages. And they will advise you to stay because they're afraid to leave. If you feeling lonely in your marriage or your relationship, if you're feeling neglected, all that, why would you stay? What about yourself doesn't value yourself so much to where you let people mistreat you? That's why I had to go with it. And then the other thing is like, no, I'm not going to always feel happy. Marriage is not going to, relationships are not always going to be happy, or not feeling related. But that reciprocity in a partnership should be there. I should never feel lonely in a marriage. I was so alone, it used to bring tears to my eyes. And not to have touch on top of that. You talking about somebody going about crazy? And he brought up the instance once of I didn't act like I want to be touched. But it's like, if you're not touching me, I'm not going to be acting like I want to be touched. I'm lacking touch. If you were touching me, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And truth be told, as a Sag, I could have been being touched. Okay? People don't like it. Y'all don't like Sag because, baby, we be having options. It's just, I could have been being touched. But I was waiting. I was just waiting. And that turned into 10 years of waiting. And I say maybe the first year of us being together, and I give it 2. So we'll say 8 years of waiting. And it just never came. It never came. All this other stuff surfaced. Them dreams, baby, they was telling a tale. But for me personally, and then I had to go inward. What about self? Sat around and waited for a hug for 8 years. That's not valuing self. It's not wise. And it had nothing to do with money. Because we had the resources. Whether they were being held and handled responsibly. I'm a pretty much responsible person when it comes to family. I can't say I was pouring so much out, but just making sure my family has good food to eat. Not just anything, very selective. Good water. and stuff like that. So I wasn't buying designer handbags and designer shoes. It wasn't until I got to a point of, well, maybe if I had these things, I would feel better about the weight, the weighting I'm doing. And I got those things and they just lay around, y'all, no lie. I be in Crocs, okay? When I dress up, I'm dressed up, but I'm still not in red bottoms. That's just not my thing. I've never been into stuff like that. And so I bought the expensive things and they just laid around. It didn't fix anything on the inside of me or for the whole of the house, right? And so eventually you have to separate. And I would encourage everybody today on Love Day to reevaluate your connections and to be aware if those connections are bringing you peace. I did not have peace. I'm always guessing and trying to fix shit. And I was the only person trying to fix shit, okay? That's the other thing. Like, we'll be in these relationships and you'll be working on yourself, and the other person is not working on themselves or becoming more self aware. And so then you feel like you're stuck in that thing. You're not stuck. You're choosing to stay tied to a lower vibration, which holds back your ascension, your elevation, period. And it's usually fear based. A lot of people that I know that are married, they stay married because they're afraid they won't meet nobody else, or they're afraid that they're afraid to leave, just being alone. And I can't say it wasn't me too. I just got to a point where it's like, am I gonna continue to self-sacrifice, or do I choose me? And I chose me. And I feel better. I done lost 33 pounds. Okay. Can you say suffering? I was literally suffering and was wearing all of those emotions and stuff on my body. Now I'm working out, doing yoga. I walk every day, just trying to get in the element. I'm not beating myself up mentally. I'm not guessing. I'm just doing me and doing the work and the healing. And that's better for me. And then I got my little, you know what I'm saying? Pouring into me. And I like that too. I like that too. I like to be poured into and to be cared for. And I like to be made aware of a person's interest in me. And so that's what I came here to talk about today. Stay vigilant on your journey, your healing. Nobody's journey is connected to another person's. And so do not get stuck on somebody else's journey and their journey is leading them nowhere and you feel like you can't detach. We're in a season, and with this Pluto Mars energy, baby, it's detachment. Don't stay stuck. Don't stay because you've been together 10 years. Are you being pushed to fulfill your purpose in that union? And then are you being loved and cared for? Life is too short to literally be in something where you feeling lonely and you not alone. If I gotta feel lonely inside of a relationship, I'm gonna hit these streets every time, right? And so I just push y'all to be vigilant. Don't be out here buying into the guy versus girl, the girl versus guy. It's somebody for everybody. I know a lady that's over 50 that just got married for the first time. I know people, statistics show that people, when they get married the second time, it usually lasts because they learn what not to do in the first marriage. Keep track of the positivity when it comes to relationships. Now, if you out here listening to these people, all these gurus, got these gurus, these relationship specialists, these people don't be in no relationship, nor do they have self-love. Anybody practicing things over people, they are not self-aware. And they'll hope that you're not self-aware, so they can abuse you mentally and verbally mostly. And that's just my experience. Okay, like I said, I realized young, now that I know astrology, I have dated a lot of Capricorn, Aries energy, And being that I am a lot of water and air, that doesn't work for my chart. I gotta have my man watery, okay? Bring me that water, honey. Don't put this fire out. But fire and water are opposite. And so there's a balance there. So yeah, I just want to tell y'all that. And I know I'm on point because my FedEx tracking thing say 222. Get on here, love on y'all a little bit. And now I gotta cook. I'm making some marry me salmon. And I have the vegetable noodles. I don't like a lot of starch anyway, so I'm not even gonna focus on it. I don't even really be eating it. But I make the starches for the filling. And marry me salmon. I got some quinoa that I cook too much of. I'm gonna mix that in with the pasta, but I'm gonna cast iron skillet the salmon. It's seasoned, marinating right now. Put in that cast iron skillet. I got some bell pepper, onion, two types different onion. I'm gonna saute that thing to death, right? And then I'm gonna make my sauce. Now I just started making sauces. My cousin put me on. I ain't gonna lie. I've never been a sauce person or a pasta person. She is, and so she's big on sauces. So she gave me this one little secret to the sauce. It's the secret. When I make this sauce, honey, you'll swear I've been making sauces since I was little, and that's just not the case. These sauces just came about maybe a year ago, maybe a year ago. Okay, and so this is a dish with seafood. The last dish I made was chickpea stew with kale and coconut milk and curry. And baby, it warmed my heart. I like chickpeas. You know what I'm saying? So a chickpea in a stew, you add spinach, kale. It was so magical because the coconut milk always make that curry. Ooh, it just give it that. So it won't be too spicy. And we ate on that for a minute. So now I'm tired of that. This marry me salmon is today. And I got the little noodles and I want to get it done. So when my child gets here, got him like a little V-Day dinner going, and then I can get him his little stuff that I got for him so he can feel loved. I felt loved on today, and I'm gonna call my friend who dropped off my strawberries and ask her would she like some food. That's how I show care for people. I cook. Um, I watched my grandma cook. I'm just now making healthier choices, learning to cook newer things. For my next chapter in my life, when we move, I have bought a stack of cookbooks so that I can really, really hone in on not just Southern cooking, but being able to cook different dishes from different cultures. And honey, be living a life. Sag is foreign travel. And so for me being a Cancer rising, the food, Cancer, food, home, we just transforming what that looks like. And so when I get married again, I'm not just cooking soul food for my man, making him gain weight, lowering his vibration, because he gonna eat it and go to sleep. I'm not doing that. We raising vibrations and we having good healthy connections because we're putting good healthy things in our bodies, not always stuff that's weighed down. And I'm from the South and returning to the South, so we still gonna eat soul food, but just adding more variety into the diet, right? And so, yeah, that's what I got going on. I just ate a piece of dragon fruit, the yellow ones. Baby, if you trying to clean some stuff out, eat that yellow dragon fruit, okay? I try to eat one of those a day. They're kind of expensive, but they flush you out. So I just had that. I've been working on a lot of protein and just like I say, doing my yoga and working out. So all I had today was some nuts and that dragon fruit. And it was probably it was something else. I ate a couple of these strawberries. But I just tend not to try to get up and eat trash. Now, if you have a sugar moment, eat it and move past it. Don't get you no donut and then have donuts all week. Don't even get a dozen. If you're going to get your donut, get two. Get two. Eat one then, have one for later, but just don't stay in it. That's what I'm learning. Like, you can crave something sweet. It's okay. But when you're talking about being healthy and longevity, I should not be buying a dozen donuts. I had started buying a dozen and they was just sitting on the table because I'm shifting mindset and my frequency and my body don't want that. And so stay cooking your food. It's your own signature you're putting into the energy of preparing food for yourself and your family. And then if you eat out, get through it, live through it, and push forward. Don't eat out every day. It's not necessary. No, I'm actually from Georgia. My dad's side of the family is from Louisiana. I have a heavy history culturally and spiritually when it comes to Louisiana. So it's funny that you asked that. I also went down there after the storm to help clean up. But from Georgia, Southern Georgia Peach on the scene. And so I'm in transition. There's so much been going on. That's why I haven't been tending to my platform. We're in motion. We're actually moving back east. And I'm working on getting my farm going. That's what my focus has been. That's why I'm setting my intentions. I don't believe in hiding everything you're doing because somebody else might be plotting against your intentions. I don't believe in that. Nobody can stop me from accomplishing my goals and dreams. And through my farm, I am redeeming my bloodline. I come from a farming family. I'm a young man. I can tell by oh, okay. Yeah, just I don't know what the hype is about being obsessed with people ruining your dreams and your plans, so you got to keep it all secret. I don't believe in that. I believe in putting it out into the universe and then taking action to make that thing a reality. And so we're moving. We're moving. If y'all don't see me on here, no, we in motion. We got a couple of months to count down. What I've been doing is purging the household. I had like 15 bags of stuff that went out last week and the week before that things that were being thrown away. And so now we're in the process of about to construct our first box to pack. If you're trying to make a move and you want the energy to match what you're trying to do, pack a box. The universe will start bringing in the energy of you shifting. And I also ordered me some Motivate. If you're looking for a change, sudden change, get you a piece of Motivate. And be prepared. And if you're not doing the work, don't get the Motivate. You got to be doing the shadow work because that Motivate is going to highlight the things, and you don't want all that negative ass energy being highlighted. And so I've been doing the work. Motivate has been coming to me over and over again recently. And so I ordered it. Make sure if you order Motivate, it is certified Motivate. So ain't nobody selling you glass, okay? Look around. It only come from one place, and it ain't here. So that's what I got going on. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I gotta get this salmon going. I hope y'all are enjoying today. Love on yourself. Nobody's gonna love you like you love you. And when you love yourself and you have self-love, you attract love to you. Right? You grabbed my hair. Yeah. People do sometimes have I can say even my ex. I just feel like he say certain stuff trying to bring out the lower vibration in me. And you know, Sag is half horse, half man. So that lower part will come out. But what I'm learning now is like I'm not seeking validation from him. And so no matter what he's saying, I just correct him so he won't be projecting, but not because I need validation. I don't need validation from you. We aren't the same. We don't think the same. What we value is not the same. And so I don't need necessary validation from your direction. And so that's why I say, get a hold of the self-love, because once you identify the things that you want and what you need to feel a certain type of way, then you can be specific. You're not just accepting what is presented to you. Most of my relationships have been presented to me and I just accepted it because it was being presented. You can reject that. Don't be like me. Don't just take it because somebody giving it to you. Just because somebody giving it to you don't mean they have good intentions. And so that's the thing. And then take your time. All my relationships have been rushed, feels like. And it's just like, yeah. So when you rush, you can't really see or feel the energy of that connection. But when you take a step back and take a little more time to cultivate that thing, then you know whether or not if it's in alignment with who you are. And who you might not even be the same today and tomorrow. That was another thing my ex-husband used to say. He would say, when I met you, you was fun. When you met me, I did not know me. How much fun was that for me? And then it's just like, I'm not going to stop growing and apologize for my growth to keep you comfortable. See, people try to keep themselves comfortable. So when you changing, they fighting against your change because then eventually they will have to look at themselves. And eventually you'll see, hey, I no longer have this in common with this person. Like I said, I know a lot of people just stay in situations like that just because they've been in those situations for decades or years or months. That's just not me. I know a girl that been married a long time, unhappy a long time, and then um deciding to just keep procreating. That's weird to me. If I'm not happy, I don't want to traumatize no more children. I can say my son probably experienced a little trauma because yeah. You growing and shifting and moving, baby. The children can see. And luckily he's a Capricorn moon. Luckily. So he's not one to take it to heart. And I always tell them, don't do what you saw happen here. This was not proper or the right way here. And so when I say self-love, that's the message for today. Self-love. Hone in on you, your hurts, your traumas, your triggers, your shadow work. Take it seriously. Find out how you need to be loved. And I've heard this doctor say, we seek out in our adult relationships the things that we did not get as children. For me, I did not get hugs and attention in my home as a child. And so in my relationship, I really needed hugs, love, and attention. And so when you know what it is that you need, then if that person is not displaying that they have that quality to give you that, move on. Don't go into a mindset of thinking it'll come later. I used to always say, well, once he get this, maybe he'll show me some affection. Once we get here, maybe things will change. And that turned into 10 years of me thinking this person will change once he gets these things. And it just was not true. No amount of things was going to get me them hugs from that said person. And so, self-love, that's the message for today. Don't be out here. If you're looking for money and you want a man that's stable, stand on your square. Nothing is wrong with that. And men, if y'all are not stable and feel like that y'all want to push struggle love on women, you might need to get up under an elder. Older men automatically tell men, and these are balanced older men, that you should be stable before you seek out a wife. That's just what it is. And it's really not about providing things for her. That's your role in leadership. I'm not religious, but I grew up in the church, so when we go back and look at what Adam was given first, he had land and all that, but he was lonely. So he had a companion be added. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't that the everything he had filled in the gap for his loneliness. That's just not how things happen. I don't care how much money you got. It's not going to fight off loneliness. That's why you see a lot of rich people commit suicide. It doesn't bring happiness. And so don't be out here equating because somebody don't want to be on the struggle bus love connection that they are gold diggers or that they asking for too much. That's lack mindset, brothers. Any woman that's balanced and that's for you, she's going to multiply what you have anyway. That's just what we do. You give us your seed, we bring out a human, okay? You give us your goals and your dreams, we manifest those things into reality. And that's just me. I don't can speak for me. Baby, this is living proof. Like I said, I just know now I have to pour that into the right person. And so, yeah, I want to get on here. Self-love, y'all. Self-love. Don't divisiveness, don't follow the trend. Self-love. When you love yourself, you attract love to you and those that will show and display your love language without you asking. You got to constantly instruct, honey. That's not flow. It's not flow. It might look like flow. You do have to tell people what you like so they can get to know you. But if they're not paying attention and they're around you extended periods of time, they don't know after so long, that's a red flag too. But I'm gonna go, y'all. I gotta cook. All right, peace and thank y'all for tuning in. Okay, and I'll be back, y'all. But like I said, we moving, and I hope that we'll get to a place where y'all can see me when I arrive to my farm, and we getting that up and running. Yeah, I'm getting a farm for the collective. I feel like we need to have more healthy food choices owned by us. We're going into these stores, Sprouts and Whole Foods and all that, and truth coming out that they not Whole Foods. These they still being sprayed with chemicals and stuff. And so, where do we draw the line? And how can we help? We have to start back doing what our ancestors did, growing our own food and being self-sustained. All right, peace.